Hello friends. What happens when two Virgos fall in love? Is it a match made in meticulous, detail-oriented heaven, or a one-way ticket to criticism city? Strap in, because today we're diving deep into the astrological labyrinth of Virgo man and Virgo woman compatibility. Whether you're hoping for a dreamy romance, a solid business partnership, or just curious about how two earth signs vibe together, you're in the right place. Let's break it down: love, sex, marriage, friendship, and business. No fluff, just pure Virgo-style analysis. Love, a meeting of minds and calendars. When a Virgo man and a Virgo woman lock eyes, it's not some chaotic, heart-pounding movie moment, it's sharper, quieter, and far more intentional. This isn't just a glance, it's an appraisal. A scan. Think of two detectives instantly recognizing that the other speaks their language. They're sizing each other up not with suspicion, but with admiration wrapped in curiosity. Both are ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication and intellect, and this shared ruler is their secret superpower. It creates an almost telepathic connection between them. They instinctively understand the beauty of a well-structured sentence, the comfort in a precisely chosen word, and the irresistible pull of a conversation that flows seamlessly. Their attraction doesn't start with sparks flying, it starts with the calm click of mental compatibility. They understand one another on a level that feels eerily natural. Their sense of humor? Bone-dry, clever, and never forced. Their debates? Respectful but razor-sharp. And as they begin to explore each other more deeply, it becomes clear, this isn't a typical romance, it's a shared frequency. But despite this mental alignment, Virgo love doesn't happen in a rush. These two don't just fall into each other's arms, they approach cautiously, collecting emotional data along the way. The Virgo man might initially express his interest through action rather than emotion. Maybe he starts helping with small things, sending a helpful article, fixing something without being asked, or remembering exactly how she takes her coffee. It's all subtle, but deeply intentional. The Virgo woman, meanwhile, watches like a quiet strategist. She notices the tone of his voice, the order of his space, the consistency of his words and actions. Does he follow through? Is he emotionally stable? Does he wash his hands after coming home? These things matter. For them, love isn't about butterflies or blind leaps, it's about alignment, structure, and feeling emotionally safe. Trust is earned slowly, over time, and only when both feel they can truly be themselves without judgment. When that foundation is finally laid, something truly beautiful begins to unfold. The intimacy between a Virgo man and Virgo woman isn't loud, but it's powerful. It lives in the everyday details. Grocery shopping together becomes a shared mission. Cleaning the apartment on a Sunday morning turns into a quiet bonding ritual. They thrive on routine, not because they're boring, but because structure is their love language. Where some couples crave spontaneity, they crave stability. I made you tea because I knew you'd forget isn't just sweet, it's the Virgo version of I love you. They show love by thinking ahead, anticipating needs, and making life easier for each other. Their affection is deeply functional, which, for them, is the highest form of emotional care. From the outside, people may wonder if their relationship lacks fire or drama. But here's the twist: Virgo-Virgo love isn't emotionless. It's just not messy. It's controlled, thoughtful, and highly specific. They don't sweep problems under the rug, they sort them, categorize them, and solve them together. They don't raise their voices to be heard, they listen, analyze, and respond with compassion. And yes, sometimes that perfectionist edge can lead to nitpicking or overthinking. But because they both understand that tendency, they're also uniquely equipped to help each other let go. To say, it's okay, you don't need to fix everything today. That shared emotional toolkit becomes their greatest strength. It allows them to grow together in ways that feel steady and deeply satisfying. What truly sets Virgo-Virgo love apart is that it values depth over display. They're not interested in posting selfies with dramatic captions or recreating rom-com tropes. Their love shows up in the quiet, consistent way they build each other up. They read each other's stress levels. They remember anniversaries without alarms. They send each other links to practical tools that will make the other's life easier. And when challenges do come, as they inevitably do, they face them like a team. There's no blame, no emotional chaos, just a calm determination to work through it. Because when two Virgos commit, they're not just dating, they're collaborating on a lifelong partnership project. And that's what makes their love so rare. It may not dazzle at first glance. It may not be the kind of thing that grabs headlines or inspires a pop song. But it's real. Steady. Enduring. A Virgo-Virgo relationship is a beautifully crafted structure, one that doesn't rely on fantasy, but on mutual effort and deep understanding. It's love written in the margins of planners, whispered in shared silence, and proven through 1,000 small, unromantic, but deeply loving, acts. So no, it's not boring. It's brilliant in its own way. Understated, perhaps. But designed to last a lifetime. Sex, slow, intentional, and surprisingly intense. Let's get something straight from the beginning. Virgos are deeply misunderstood when it comes to intimacy. They're often typecast as emotionally distant, overly critical, or too buttoned up to be passionate lovers. But nothing could be further from the truth. Beneath their composed, perfectionist surface lies a deep well of sensuality, one that's rooted not in impulsiveness, but in presence. The Virgo man and Virgo woman are both thoughtful to their core, and this trait translates directly into how they express themselves physically. They're the types who listen with their whole bodies. They're not chasing chaos or novelty for its own sake. Instead, they're tuned in, so much so that even the subtlest shifts in mood or tension are noticed, respected, and responded to with care. Intimacy with a Virgo is about tuning out the noise and dropping into a space of profound connection. They're not just there to satisfy, they're there to understand. And in the bedroom, that makes all the difference. For a Virgo man and Virgo woman, sex doesn't begin at undressing. It begins hours, or even days, before that. Their foreplay is woven into their shared routines, the way they fold clothes together in silence, the warm hand on a lower back during a grocery run, or the way one of them lights a candle and lays out fresh towels after cleaning the bathroom. Every little act of care, every kind word and subtle gesture, builds intimacy before a single kiss is exchanged. Their environment plays a massive role in their experience of desire. Virgo's connection to cleanliness and order isn't just about being neat, it's about creating the right setting for emotional and physical openness. They need calm surroundings. Soft lighting. Crisp sheets. Tea that's steeped just right. It's not fussiness, it's intention. They understand, perhaps more than any other sign, that a peaceful external space creates room for vulnerability and pleasure. And once that's in place, the physical connection they share becomes incredibly rich. Despite their grounded, even modest outward personas, Virgo-Virgo intimacy can be surprisingly bold, once trust is fully established. This couple doesn't rush into sex with blind curiosity. They approach it like they approach most things in life, with research, careful thought, and a strong desire to improve and deepen the experience each time. The Virgo man will often be attuned to his partner's subtle cues, taking mental notes, paying close attention to what brings her comfort and what draws her in. The Virgo woman, in turn, is likely to be just as responsive, eager to match that attentiveness with her own, bringing her entire focus to the experience. Every move they make is thoughtful, not choreographed, but intentional. It's not about performance or ego, it's about presence. A Virgo doesn't just touch to touch, they touch to connect, to communicate without words. And in this kind of space, the sex isn't just good, it's transformative. As they grow closer, what emerges is a deeply intuitive rhythm. They begin to anticipate each other's desires, not through guesswork, but through deep emotional understanding. They don't need to say much, because so much is already communicated through trust, familiarity, and subtle awareness. And while they may not be the most experimental in terms of kinks or shock value escapades, they do explore. Just in their own way. Slowly. Consciously. With great care for how each new step fits into the emotional fabric they've built together. And when a Virgo lets go, which only happens when they feel completely safe, it's full surrender. There's no halfway. No holding back. They give everything. In that moment, their so-called reserve melts away, revealing an almost sacred intimacy that surprises even them. This kind of connection, while less flashy than the stereotypical passionate romance, is actually far more sustaining. It doesn't burn fast and fade out. It grows, matures, and becomes more rewarding over time. Because with each experience, a Virgo-Virgo couple learns more about each other, what soothes, what excites, what comforts. Sex becomes not just a physical act, but a dialogue. A feedback loop of empathy, refinement, and growth. It's a place where they can both be soft, human, and unguarded, and know that every flaw is not only accepted but loved. So, while their intimate life may not make headlines or inspire steamy novels, it holds something rarer, depth, devotion, and a kind of shared sanctuary. For a Virgo man and a Virgo woman, sex isn't about escapism. It's about returning home, to themselves, and to each other. And in a world full of noise, that kind of intimacy is pure gold. Marriage, the power couple of practicality. Marriage between a Virgo man and a Virgo woman isn't a whirlwind romance swept up in impulsive decisions and spur-of-the-moment vacations. It's a thoughtful, carefully constructed life partnership built on planning, predictability, and, yes, plenty of post-it notes. From the moment they decide to tie the knot, this couple becomes an organizational powerhouse. Think shared task lists, meal plans that account for macros, and a vacation itinerary down to the hour. They don't leave things to chance, they prepare, and they do it together. While some couples are figuring out their tax documents the night before the deadline, the Virgo-Virgo duo has already triple-checked them, printed copies, and filed them both digitally and in a color-coded binder labeled, Finance, year by year. Their idea of romance might not include surprise hot air balloon rides, but they will send each other texts like, "Don't forget your umbrella, it's going to rain at 3:15. That's love, Virgo style. This doesn't mean their marriage is robotic or cold, far from it. What they may lack in spontaneity, they more than make up for in presence and partnership. They show up. Always. If one is sick, the other becomes a nurse, personal chef, and wellness researcher all in one. They don't just ask, "How was your day?" They genuinely want to know, and they remember the little things. They remember deadlines. Anniversaries. Doctor appointments. Their bond thrives on reliability, and that creates a sense of emotional safety that many couples never experience. A Virgo man values being useful, and a Virgo woman finds security in preparedness. Put those traits together, and what you get is a marriage that runs smoother than most corporations. It's not just a relationship, it's a well-oiled emotional enterprise. And while it may sound like a schedule-heavy lifestyle, there's a quiet romance in that rhythm. There's love in the logistics. But there's a catch, and it's a big one: both are overthinkers. Individually, a Virgo can spiral into analysis paralysis over something as minor as the way a sentence was worded. Now imagine two of them doing that, while living together, paying bills together, and raising kids or running a home. If one partner leaves the cabinet open or folds the towels the wrong way, it's not just a minor annoyance, it's a potential psychological case study. The Virgo mind is sharp, but also critical, and sometimes they turn that blade inward, or toward each other. This can result in a marriage where tension builds quietly, through unsaid critiques and passive-aggressive, helpful suggestions. And because both are used to being the one who's right, compromise doesn't always come naturally. The danger lies in becoming so focused on what needs fixing that they forget to appreciate what already works beautifully. Perfection is a Virgo trap. But marriage isn't about perfection, it's about partnership. That's why humor is not just helpful in a Virgo-Virgo marriage, it's essential. If they can learn to laugh at their shared neuroses, to find charm in their collective weirdness, and to soften when the other is being predictably uptight, they'll unlock the secret to longevity. They need to remind themselves, often, that it's okay to let things go. That not every dish left in the sink is an affront to civilization. That sometimes a spontaneous pizza night trumps a perfectly balanced meal plan. That being human is part of the deal. The Virgo couple that can gently call each other out, support each other through stress without judgment, and occasionally throw the schedule out the window for an impromptu walk, that's the Virgo couple that not only survives but thrives. And here's what makes their bond truly unique: when these two commit, they do so with an all-in mentality. They don't walk into marriage with one foot out the door. Divorce, to them, isn't just undesirable, it's unthinkable. It's a failure, and Virgos don't like to fail. So when problems arise, and they will, they don't give up. They research, reflect, and revise. They're willing to go to therapy, read books, adjust habits, and make difficult choices to preserve what they've built. Their devotion is quiet but unshakable. They show love through work, and marriage is the ultimate shared project. They will pore over spreadsheets, yes, but also over each other's emotions, goals, and insecurities. They'll evolve, update, and optimize. Because for two Virgos, marriage isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of a lifelong collaboration. And once they say, "I do," they mean forever. Friendship, the best kind of nerdy bond. A friendship between a Virgo man and a Virgo woman isn't flashy or loud, it's the kind of quiet, consistent connection that builds slowly but runs deep. You won't find them bonding over chaotic adventures or impulsive last-minute road trips. Instead, you'll catch them swapping book recommendations, sharing a passion for life hacks, and trading their latest favorite apps for budgeting, meal prep, or improving sleep hygiene. Their friendship is fueled by curiosity and built on mutual fascination with the little things most people overlook. They might spend an entire afternoon re-alphabetizing a bookshelf together, not because they have to, but because it brings them joy. A shared love for structure, logic, and order forms the foundation of their bond. They both thrive in friendships that feel grounded, supportive, and mentally stimulating, and with each other, they find just that. Their conversations aren't just catch-ups, they're collaborative brainstorms, full of "did you know," and "you should try this." Spending time together often feels like slipping into a pair of perfectly broken-in shoes, comfortable, reliable, and somehow better with age. A Virgo-Virgo friendship is the embodiment of peaceful compatibility. They might not be the duo dominating social events, but they're always the ones making sure things run smoothly behind the scenes. They remember birthdays without Facebook reminders, show up 5 minutes early, and offer to help clean up without being asked. And when life gets tough, their support is practical and precise. Instead of vague comfort, you'll get a text with step-by-step solutions, a grocery list tailored to your current mood, and an inspirational quote that isn't cheesy but genuinely helpful. This isn't performative friendship, it's true loyalty in motion. These are the friends who don't just say they're there for you, they prove it in quiet, reliable, meaningful ways. And when two Virgos become friends, their combined attention to detail becomes their secret language. Inside jokes, shared routines, and unspoken understandings define the fabric of their connection. But like any dynamic involving strong personalities and high standards, the Virgo-Virgo friendship comes with its own unique set of challenges. Virgos have a reputation for being critical, not out of cruelty, but because they genuinely want things to improve. However, when that criticism turns inward within a friendship, it can create unnecessary tension. One Virgo might comment on the other's choice in shoes or the way they manage their time, and while it may come from a good place, it can sting. This is especially true because Virgos often hold themselves to such high standards that receiving feedback, even gentle, well-meaning feedback, from someone equally meticulous can feel like a spotlight on their flaws. If both parties start nitpicking each other, the friendship can turn into a low-key battleground of micro-judgments and passive corrections. That's why mutual respect is absolutely essential. These two must remind themselves that perfection is a mirage and that every friendship, even one as aligned as theirs, needs room to breathe and be human. The key to keeping this friendship strong lies in embracing each other's quirks and learning to laugh at their shared perfectionism. Once they both acknowledge that being a little neurotic is part of their charm, everything gets easier. They begin to relax into the rhythm of the relationship, knowing that even if they occasionally annoy each other with unsolicited tips or overly thorough advice, the bond runs deeper than temporary irritation. Because when it comes down to it, a Virgo-Virgo friendship isn't about flashy outings or constant entertainment, it's about trust, integrity, and shared values. And once that foundation is secure, there's very little that can shake it. These two are the ones texting each other every New Year's Eve with updated personal goals. They'll create shared vision boards. They'll trade recipes for immune-boosting smoothies. They'll go to a museum, spend the whole time reading every plaque in silence, and walk out feeling like they just had the best day ever. They don't need constant excitement because their satisfaction comes from the depth of their bond and the comfort of understanding each other without explanation. When life gets messy, they're the ones with tissues, a plan, and 3 backup solutions. Once that emotional trust is in place, this isn't just a friendship, it's a lifelong alliance. A Virgo man and a Virgo woman don't just hang out together, they grow together. They refine each other's edges, amplify each other's strengths, and create a friendship that's as functional as it is deeply felt. They are, in every sense of the word, kindred spirits in progress. And when they commit to that friendship, they don't take it lightly. Business, a dream team, or a competitive storm. When a Virgo man and a Virgo woman join forces in a business setting, you're not just witnessing collaboration, you're watching a masterclass in precision, planning, and performance. These two bring a unique brand of intensity to the workplace. They're not there to wing it or throw around vague ideas. They're there to get results, and to get them the right way. Together, they form what could only be described as a productivity powerhouse. They will structure meetings with surgical efficiency, proofread every line of copy twice just in case, and color-code the project timeline in a shared spreadsheet that's so detailed it could be mistaken for a city zoning plan. Everything they touch has a signature Virgo fingerprint, clean, clear, methodical. They're not just driven, they're obsessed with improvement. And that shared mindset means their output is top tier. Clients love them. Supervisors rely on them. Teams trust them. When you give these two a shared goal, they'll not only reach it, they'll build a system to reach it better next time. What makes their business partnership truly shine is their mutual dedication to quality and consistency. Both believe deeply in integrity and responsibility, and neither of them is interested in cutting corners or delivering anything less than excellent. Their professional values align in a way that allows them to build businesses with strong ethical foundations and long-term vision. They're not just about quarterly results, they're about sustainability, reputation, and process. Virgo man brings a sense of grounded leadership and analytical calm to the table, while Virgo woman often shines with creative structure and emotional intelligence. She reads the room. He reads the data. Together, they balance logic with intuition, facts with finesse. Whether they're running a company, launching a startup, or working side by side in a corporate environment, their joint presence raises the bar for everyone else around them. And because both thrive under structure, deadlines aren't scary, they're motivating. You won't catch them missing a milestone, more likely, they've already prepared for next quarters. But while all of that sounds like the foundation of a dream team, it comes with a serious caveat: control. Both Virgo man and Virgo woman have strong ideas about how things should be done, and more often than not, those ideas are backed by thorough research and personal conviction. That's a recipe for either perfect synergy, or high-level friction. Because both pride themselves on their intellect and attention to detail, they can butt heads when their visions don't align. One might want the report in Times New Roman, the other in Arial. And while that sounds trivial, to Virgos, it matters. They care deeply. These aren't people who say, whatever works. They say, here's a 14-point plan for why this works best. If they're not careful, every decision becomes a silent turf war. Meetings can turn into debates. Brainstorms can stall over formatting preferences. And because they both struggle with delegation, there's a risk that instead of collaborating, they double down into parallel tracks, micromanaging or second-guessing each other into exhaustion. The key to overcoming this dynamic is humility and trust. If these two can learn to respect each other's expertise and genuinely listen without preparing a rebuttal, they can move past the competitive edge and find the magic in true cooperation. That means actively letting go of the need to control every step, and instead, focusing on shared purpose. Because when a Virgo team shifts from, I'll do it myself, to, we've got this, everything changes. They stop fighting for the same role and start complementing each other. And that's when their potential really takes off. With clearly defined roles, mutual appreciation, and a bit of emotional flexibility, Virgo-Virgo partnerships can evolve into some of the most effective and respected collaborations in any industry. They have the focus of a surgeon and the endurance of a marathoner. Once they align, nothing distracts them. They're not just in it for success, they're building something that lasts. And don't underestimate their ability to pivot when necessary. While they may be detail-oriented and structured, they are also mutable signs, adaptable when the situation calls for it. Give them a shifting market, a difficult client, or a complex legal obstacle, and they will research, reorganize, and re-strategize until they find the best solution. They don't panic. They plan. They don't rush. They refine. And when you have two Virgos operating at that level of mutual diligence and resilience, the business becomes not just efficient, it becomes visionary. Sure, their meetings may run long because of endless fine-tuning, and yes, the shared workspace might be overly tidy, but the results speak for themselves. So, are they compatible? In a word, yes. But let's not confuse that with simplicity. The compatibility between a Virgo man and a Virgo woman isn't loud or cinematic, it doesn't shout from mountaintops or burn like wildfire. It hums. It simmers. It operates on a frequency that's steady, grounded, and quietly profound. This match works not because they're wildly different and balance each other out, but because they see each other deeply. They recognize in each other the shared values that define them: integrity, consistency, growth, purpose. They don't need drama to feel alive, they need order to feel secure. And in a world that can feel chaotic and unsteady, their bond offers a rare kind of sanctuary. Their compatibility stems from a kind of psychological mirror. Each understands the other's quirks, because they live with the same ones. The overthinking. The desire to be useful. The way they fall in love through acts of service instead of grand gestures. Virgo man notices Virgo woman's routines and respects them. Virgo woman sees Virgo man's inner perfectionist and doesn't flinch. This mutual understanding creates a bond that's low on confusion and high on clarity. They communicate directly. They plan together. They support without smothering. They don't have to guess what the other person wants, they just ask. And then they deliver. Their love isn't made of fireworks and rose petals, it's built from calendars, conversations, and quiet commitment. It's the kind of connection that doesn't just survive over time, it gets better with it. But let's not paint an airbrushed portrait here. The Virgo-Virgo duo will face challenges. They're both critical, both cautious, and both prone to taking on too much. When things go wrong, they might retreat into themselves instead of reaching out. They might try to fix the problem before acknowledging the emotion. And in moments of stress, their desire for control can accidentally turn into control over each other. This pairing requires self-awareness. They'll need to learn the art of imperfection, not just tolerating it, but embracing it. Laughing at it. Understanding that sometimes a messy kitchen or a flawed plan isn't a crisis, it's just life. And life, as tidy as they may try to make it, will always include a little chaos. Their compatibility shines brightest when they remember that love isn't a task to master, it's a rhythm to live by. When they can let go, just a little, they'll find their greatest strength not in their order, but in their shared softness. And yet, despite the small storms and subtle power struggles, these two are designed for endurance. Virgo isn't known for giving up, and when two Virgos love each other, quitting isn't on the table. They'll work through issues, not sweep them under rugs. They'll attend couples therapy before the relationship crumbles, not after. They'll read books, listen to podcasts, and write down goals, together. Their shared desire to improve, not just themselves but each other, becomes their glue. And this isn't about changing one another, it's about growing in sync. They believe in evolution, not revolution. And because they trust the process, they build something that lasts. It may not look glamorous from the outside, but on the inside, it's one of the most stable, soul-nurturing connections astrology has to offer. So, Virgo man plus Virgo woman, it's not the kind of compatibility that sweeps you off your feet. It's the kind that helps you stand firmly on them. Their relationship might not go viral on social media, but it will thrive in real life, in the grocery lists, the morning check-ins, the shared glances that say, "I've got you," without saying a word. It's a love rooted in logic, fueled by loyalty, and carried by care. It won't always be easy. But it will always be real. And in a world full of fleeting flames and half-hearted promises, that kind of connection, that's rare. That's magic. If you found this deep dive helpful, don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and check out our other content exploring astrological matchups. Want to share your Virgo-Virgo experience? Drop it in the comments. And hey, follow the links in the description for more cosmic insights. Because love, it's written in the stars, but sometimes, you need a little astrology to read the fine print.